I need to tell you something that might sting a little bit. Most of you who are watching this are spending 80% of your time and energy and money chasing new clients, and you're completely ignoring the ones that you already have. So here's the problem with that. It costs 5 to 7 times more to win a new client than it does to keep an existing one. And an existing client who stays with you for 2 or 3 years is worth on average 10 times what they paid you in month 1. So if you're constantly on the hamster wheel, as we all seem to be at times, of acquisition, pitch, win, deliver, lose, repeat, you don't have a growth strategy, you have a leaky bucket. So today I'm going to give you the 5 retention rules that I've used across every business that I've built. So these aren't complicated, they're really simple, but almost nobody does them. And in 2026, with AI making it easier than ever to switch providers, retention is the new growth strategy: trust and value. Let's fix your bucket. So the number one reason clients leave is not because your work is bad. It's because they didn't feel looked after in the first 30 days. That window between signing the contract and seeing the first real result is the danger zone. It's where buyer's remorse lives. So it's where doubt creeps in. And if you're not actively managing that experience or aware of that, then you're already losing clients. So here's what we do at Tenacious. Within 4 hours of a client signing, they receive a welcome email. And that email sets the tone immediately and explains exactly what's going to happen next, including the timeline, the key milestones, who's going to be responsible for what, how and when to contact us. So from day one, there's this clarity and no guesswork. And then within 72 hours, we run a live onboarding meeting. And in that meeting, we walk them through exactly what the engagement's going to look like. So there are no surprises. We manage their expectations. We tell them what happens in week 1, what happens in week 2, what's going to happen in the first 30 days, and what the ongoing process is going to look like after that. And the goal's simple: no surprises. The client needs to know exactly what's happening in that first month, when it's going to happen, and who's responsible for it, more importantly. But because most clients don't leave because the work is bad, they leave because they feel uncertain about what's happening next. So clarity just removes all of that uncertainty, and uncertainty is what causes the churn. So within the first week, we run a check-in call. So we touch base with each client. So not to deliver anything, just to ask, so how are you feeling about it? Do you have any questions? Is there anything worrying you? Can we do anything better? That single call has saved more client relationships than any piece of work that I've ever delivered. So because people, they don't leave businesses that make them feel seen. People remember how you make them feel. And if your client's emailing you asking for a status update, then you've already failed. So that email means they're anxious and they're just wondering, why have I paid for this and what am I paying for? And they are one Google search away from looking at one of your competitors. And the fix is simple: proactive communication. Send some updates before they're expected. So share some wins before they ask for them. Flag problems before they become surprises. Have a rule: every client is going to get at least 1 touch point per week. Even if it's just a 2-line message: we're on track, here's what we're working on this week. Just a couple of lines, just something really simple. And it's going to tell the client that I'm just thinking about your business, even when you're not watching. And here's where AI helps in 2026. You can set up automated client check-in sequences. So AI tools can generate weekly summary reports in seconds. So your CRM can remind you if a client hasn't been contacted in 7 days. And the technology exists. You just got to learn how to use it, basically. So silence kills client relationships. Communication saves client relationships. And you know what separates a client who stays 3 months from one who stays 3 years? Surprise value and being looked after. Not over delivering on your core service, because that's going to burn you out and it's destroying your margins when you have clients like that. But I mean delivering small, thoughtful insights that cost you nothing to do. For example, if you're a marketing agency like me, then you notice your client's competitors just changed their positioning or a campaign. Send them a quick message and say, I just saw this, I thought you'd want to know, so I've sent it to you. Or send them a tip, or something that took you 5 minutes, but to them it feels like you're watching their back 24/7. Another example: let's say you come across an article, a tool, or an idea that's relevant to their business and you think it could be useful for them. Then forward it and say, this made me think of you, or something like that. And that's relationship building. Or when you finish a project, add a simple next steps document showing where they should focus next and where you're going next. Even if it doesn't involve you, that creates a conversation about continuing the journey together. It just manages the expectations. Unexpected value builds emotional loyalty, and emotional loyalty is the only loyalty that survives when a cheaper competitor lands in their inbox. It's hard to defend against. This one's uncomfortable, which is exactly why most businesses don't do it. At the 30-day mark and the 90-day mark and every quarter after that, ask your client on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend us? And then ask the real question, what would make it a 10? Because for most founders, they're terrified of asking that question because, everyone can improve, right? And because they don't want to hear the answer. But here's the reality, if a client has a problem, then they're probably already thinking about it themselves. The only question is whether they're going to tell you or not, or tell your competitor when they're shopping around maybe. But when a client gives feedback and you act on it visibly, you mentioned X last month, so now we've done Y, that builds 6 months of trust in a single moment because they can trust you. And here's the hidden benefit. The clients who give you tough feedback and see you respond and improve become your biggest advocates. They refer you. They write testimonials because they've seen that you care enough to try to improve. You ask the question. I'm not talking about locking contracts or cancellation fees, because those are desperate moves that breed resentment. I'm talking about making yourself so embedded in your client's success, making them feel that energy that you want to help them, that leaves a feeling with them. So over time, the person who understands their business better than anyone outside their team, the person who knows their numbers, you become the person who knows their customers, you become the person who knows their competitors, and that knowledge becomes the institutional memory, and institutional memory is irreplaceable. So then build systems that integrate into how they work. So if you're running their marketing, dashboards that they can check every day, automations their team relies on, SOPs their team uses, and when you're woven into their operations, leaving you just isn't a provider switch, it's a disruption. The most powerful move of all is connect them to other people, introduce them to partners, introduce them to your network, clients, collaborators. Because when you become part of the hub of their network, you're no longer just a service provider to them, you're an asset. And they can't afford to lose an asset. So that's the retention moat. It's not about contracts, it's not guilt. Value so deep that staying becomes the obvious choice. So let's bring it home. 5 rules. Own the first 30 days. Communicate before they have to ask. Deliver unexpected value. Ask for feedback and act on it. And then build a retention moat through deep value, not locking contracts. If you do those 5 things consistently, then you're going to keep clients longer, earn more per client, and spend less time on this exhausting hamster wheel of constant client acquisition. And here's the beautiful thing, happy retained clients become your best marketing channel. They spread energy about you, they refer, they leave reviews, they talk about you, and then that growth compounds. Building a business AI can't replace, and that starts with relationships clients don't want to leave. If this helped, hit subscribe. I post weekly about building, scaling, and staying visible in the AI era. And if you want help building retention systems into your business, then check out Tenacious Accelerators. And if you want some done-for-you marketing to help your business to grow, then check out Tenacious AI Marketing Global. I'll put the links in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.